What's going on, everybody? I am Steve Mattiace, and with me are the Brokaws, Josh, Liz. Brokaws is right? It's not Brokai.
Yeah. It's kind of like Occupy.
Whatever.
How are we doing, friends?
So you're way too pleased with yourself about that.
I gotta have fun somehow. I'm trying to think. Has there ever been a show where it's just been me and the two of you together? I mean, there was the show a few weeks
accidentally.
ago. Yeah, where Liz joined from the living room, I think. But
Yeah. Just like pulled up her phone and joined because I was having technical difficulties.
Hey, we're getting a hi from our good friend Kaz. So, hey, Kaz, nice to see you. Liz, you got to talk to Kaz on Friday night. That was fun to listen to.
Thanks. We tried. We're just a little bit chaos, and I think that I really like it, so I kind of lean into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, Josh, what have you been up to?
We went to the arts festival today, which was like Pride Parade and then Arts Festival.
Nice.
And it was a lot of fun. A lot of people. The arts festival I haven't been to, I think, in a couple of years, and it was much bigger than I think it was last time I went. And it was like going over the Warhol Bridge, and then all throughout Duquesne Boulevard.
Okay.
That's what it's called. And then it was just giant. In that new area where they had the new park, that was all like bands were playing there. That food vendors. It was great. It was a lot of fun.
Nice.
The Pride Parade was also much larger than I think I've seen it in recent years. I think partially because you didn't have to sign up. You got to show up, and if you wanted to participate and celebrate, then you could. And it meant that there was a lot of variety in that parade, and people showing up with, handmade signs and big banners and all kinds of music, which is it was lovely.
Yeah,
that's
cool. A lot of fun.
Yeah, and it seems like a great way to do it, right? Like let people come and participate. I'm guessing in the past people probably didn't know that you were supposed to sign up and then would get there and be on the sidelines instead of in it. So
yeah,
that sounds fun. Great.
How about you? What'd you up to?
Not much. Had a campfire at a buddy's house on Friday night. And then, other than that, took it easy yesterday. A little bit of potting some plants or repotting some plants. So, Liz, did you plant your wildflowers yet? Obviously, you don't have them yet, but
it takes me about a year to prep. And it might take 2 years if some of our grass is tougher. So you have to kill out all of the old stuff. We've decided what area that we want to do it in. And I think we're going to put a path into it because we have the space for it.
Nice.
But we've got to actually get like the greenhouse plastic, the cover, to put over the grass for the hottest part of the month and see if it kills it off or if we have to leave it on for 2 years.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I will look forward to seeing that. Maybe I'll be able to get my packet next year. So we got a couple games to talk about. So let's talk about some games. First up, we got the Riveters beating Flower City.
Ooh, yeah, they did.
That was really good, Liz.
Thank you. So was the game.
It was a 4-0 game. And I mean, what a game it was. Same team that just a few weeks ago we got our tie against, right? And so, you and Kaz went into it talking about it at the end of the show Friday night, kind of with some questions, what's going to happen, right? I think, Liz, maybe you had said you had a very apprehensive 1-0 expectation for the Riveters and that you were going to be nervous afterwards or after that first goal.
I mean, yeah, I honestly didn't think that we would be able to come in and own the field the way that we did. I think that watching the game, it was relatively even, like the play, the competitiveness, like the quality was very high for the entire game. So honestly, the scoreline is still very surprising to me, but I'm very glad to be wrong.
It's the best kind of wrong, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the best kind of wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it came goals for Kennedy Neighbors, Sabrina Bryan, Tatum Nelson, and Emily Hanrahan. Malloy, Nelson, Neighbors, and Mahan got the assists on those. So, I mean, it was a lot of fun, and some of those goals were absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, and I think, again, look at the number of names that are showing up on the score sheet and for assists. It's still incredible to see that variety for the Riveters, and to know that that means that they're clicking on a multitude of levels. Like the camaraderie there is, I mean, it's just fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, so Josh, you and I didn't get to talk about the game leading up to it like Liz did. So kind of how were you feeling going into it, and then kind of where did things kind of change for you throughout the game?
Yeah, I mean, this was what I thought was going to be the big test, because it is a team that we've been weak against before this. And I thought for sure, like, oh, if this is, if we're going to dominate this division, this was the only team that was really going to give us that much trouble. And the fact that we pretty much steamrolled them. I mean, it's hard to argue with, 4-0. So I don't know, like, I think I might have talked about before this season, or this season at some point, but like the expectations we had from last season going into the season are being met this season. And the fact that we drew against this team early shows that was more of a fluke than anything. It was just, getting a little bit of not even a slow start, just, but yeah, so like I don't want to count my, eggs before the hatch, but like looking forward to the playoffs. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. No, I mean, so yeah, I totally hear what you're saying. I'm going to throw up the standings now, just so you can kind of see where we are in our division. It puts us up at the top, clearly, no question about it. The astounding thing to me is that goal differential, and that is insane. 17 goals, 3 against, for a plus 14 goal differential. I thought, like, oh man, nobody else has to have that. Some of the other teams in some of the other divisions are just beating up on teams. I don't remember where it was. There was a 10-0 win in a game somewhere else in the league. So it was like, oh, okay.
I hope they don't pop smoke. They're done. Budget blown.
For the season. But I do think that, like, as I think about that, I really agree with what you're saying there, Josh, that I think we've got this division on lock if we continue to play the way we are. But it's still a challenging tournament. I think we saw that last year. Minnesota Aurora is doing just as well as we are again, right? And so I kind of wonder, we talked a little bit, I think it was last year, right? Like when they got that loss, that is this a good test of their ability to, dare I say, fortitude for the rest of the season? I was trying to avoid it, and it's the only word I could come up with.
Resiliency?
Resilience. There we go. That's great. Thank you, Liz. So, like, I think my question is, do we look at this team and have questions about what happens when they do face a team that is just as good at them and can score goals as well? And I think that's really kind of my only big question. I'd love to see them answer that question resoundingly as we move closer to the playoffs and just kind of lock this down. I
think that's a hard question, though, because part of winning on Saturday, part of winning on Saturday was, I mean, I could see both teams had changed how they played to some extent. And I think that there is a lot to be said that we had more things that we could change, and we did those very, very effectively. I think the only thing that they came in and changed was they locked down Bella hard. I mean, I thought that there would be more. I thought that someone was going to get a card for taking her out, but maybe all the refs know that she's just a bruiser, so they didn't care. They're like, you know what, you get away with it, so the opponent gets away with it. Could be fine. But I saw a lot of like there were changes made and there was an answer to what had happened earlier in the season. And so I think that your question's a good one, because we won't have seen these other teams. All we'll have is video. We won't have seen how they could play against us. So that could still be really hard. And I think that's always going to be true of younger teams.
Yeah. Yeah. Josh, you got any other takeaways on this?
Yeah, it's just the whole thing about this being so regional. It is really hard to know what you're being tested against, because you're playing the same teams multiple times. And I don't know, like there's another nagging bit that I totally forgot about until just now, which is the fact that we probably won't have all of our best players for the playoff.
No, we won't. We know
because of college and because of all that. And like, if that's the case, what's gonna happen? Which is the worrying part. So, but with that said, we have, had good substitutions and not like a complete roster change for some games, but I don't know. I'm optimistic about what that means. And this has to be issues that other teams are facing as well. Like, it can't just be the Hounds the Riveters that are facing this issue. So yeah, it's everyone has to deal with it. Hopefully it doesn't bite us, because we do have a lot of great players that might not be at the playoffs.
Yeah, I hope to answer that. We do what we did in this game, which is starting about the 70th minute, the 65th minute. We start bringing in other players. We start changing it up a little bit. We start testing those other combinations. None of those changes felt like we were trying to answer a problem that was happening. They felt basically like for like. It was getting new people into the into the mix so they could get ready with the rest of the team. So I hope that we can continue to do that, so that when we get to playoffs, it feels very natural and people know how they slot into these different places.
Yeah. I mean, Kaz is chiming in again. The depth seems significantly stronger this year than last, which is crazy for a team that fielded 30-plus players last year. I was kind of thinking, okay, Kaz, where is your tracker? Because the two of you talked about it the other night in terms of the number of players that haven't seen the field yet when you were talking about kind of some of those substitutions. And you bring that back up again now. And so, kind of excited to see some of these other players make some of the rosters and get some playing time, because I think you're right, Josh. Like, that's going to be really necessary down the stretch into the last half of the season and then into the playoffs, of having players that can come in and do some things when some of these players that we're really enjoying watching are not there. So, do we want to pick our top three for this game?
I think we probably should.
Can we pick three for this game?
Yeah.
I mean, Kaz already had a good point in the chat. Well, he has an opinion about who should number one be.
I mean, I concur with his number one, quite frankly. So if you guys want to fight, I'm ready. But that's.
I mean, Josh, do you disagree with Kennedy Neighbors?
I would never.
In the top three.
I do not disagree. Yeah, Kennedy Neighbors is number one, I think, is a good shout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I actually think that Grundler would be my number two. She kept it, like there was an early shot. She kept everyone settled. I know that it felt like things weren't on her side of the field, but she always felt prepared. And there's a lot to be said for that. When you know that, I mean, if they had let in a goal, it would have, and this is always true, but I think especially with this team, the vibes would have been very different, and you would have felt like much more like you were fighting, as opposed to being able to take your time and take your shots.
Okay. I think that kind of makes it really hard, because I have a few others that I think kind of deserve to be in the conversation.
Is Tatum Nelson one of them?
Tatum Nelson is one of them. I really liked what I saw out of Ellen Malloy. She's
my third.
She reminded me a lot of what we've seen out of like a Danny Griffin for the Hounds, right? Like a player that is really solid defensively and covering the back line, but then also able to do some things going forward. And she was a lot of fun, I think, on the ball. So it's a tough one between those two for me.
I second the Malloy, quite frankly. So that's who I would put in there.
Yeah, I was just basing Nelson off the fact that she also got a goal and an assist,
Right. Which is important, right?
pretty darn good.
Yeah.
But I'm not, married to the idea.
Okay, so Neighbors, Grundler, and Malloy. Josh, what's our order?
I think you just gave the order.
Okay.
Personally,
All right. Liz, you concur?
I mean, that's what I had written on my paper before the show started. So obviously, you're copying my homework at this point. I do.
I'm not even changing it a little.
I do want to honorable mention Siam. She came in late, but the through passes she had is something that she didn't do that last year. That was not the role that she played, and she made sure that was getting through traffic to individuals who are already making plays, who are already involved, who were ready to push the game forward. And she did that very selflessly and very flawlessly. So I think that I would do a honorable mention on the show.
Mm-hmm. I also would give an honorable mention. She wouldn't have been in the conversation for the top three for me, but Emily Hanrahan to come in and score as a substitute when you're already dominating the game is kind of fun to watch. And so it's like, yeah, go have fun, go get that goal too, right? Like I just like that she was putting herself in that position and willing to take that shot instead of playing it a little more conservatively. So,
yeah, much like last year, they're not a conservative group of women. They are, they're going to play the entire time and they're going to play for goals no matter how many they already have. And I love watching that because you watch them continue to develop their skills in a way that taking it to the corner or parking the bus, you don't get to see that. So it makes the game far more enjoyable to watch.
Yeah. Liz, you're kind of hitting on something that I think has been in the back of my mind for a little bit. As I was listening to some of the previous conversations, especially Friday's conversation between you and Kaz, I was starting to wonder, like, is what we're seeing, kind of Josh's point earlier, kind of like the expectations we had last year coming to fulfillment this year. Is this that we're seeing some of these players play together for this amount of time, but not just the synergy and learning how each other plays, but also their development at this level, right? Like, and so I kind of am excited to see, right? We know we're going to have turnover next year, but we expect to see a lot of some of these players back as well. And so this development seems like it's a lot of fun to watch because you're right. Like a player like Siam, a different player in a different role than what we saw last year.
I think we're also watching the club let the team on the field dictate what the play style is in a way that isn't always true in a higher division, or do you know what I mean? Like you don't get to always have a brand new coach who doesn't have a bunch of preconceived notions, who is willing to adapt. And this team specifically, I know, does, because we have watched them change so drastically over how they began last season versus how they're playing right now this season. So I think this team is getting to set the standard and dictate what their play looks like on the field. And that's exciting to me because all of these women are in agreement about what they want to produce on the field and how they want to produce that. And they're doing it.
And there's an element, I think, where their individual expression as players shines through that more than I think we as fans of this organization for a long time have been used to seeing on the field, right? And that's all I'll say about that. But just that like they get to be themselves in a way.
Oh, 100%.
And you can see that they're having a lot of fun doing that. Yeah.
I'd agree with that as well.
Okay, well, we've got a weekend with Erie coming up. You guys kind of mentioned this already, but it is going to be a packed weekend for them. 2 6:00 games, Friday night at home, and then Sunday up in Erie. And so, yeah, like a lot of soccer this weekend. We'll get to it because the Hounds also have a game Saturday night. But kind of, yeah, I mean, we haven't seen Erie yet this year. So, Josh, how are you feeling about this weekend for the women?
I'm definitely not as worried as I would normally be. I feel like we have 43 players for a reason. Is it 43, 44? I don't know. I can't remember.
Like that.
It's a huge number for this exact reason. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see almost completely different lineup for both games, which doesn't scare me much. I don't really have high expectations of Erie.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know. I don't know. Like, I'm not that worried about it. I think we have the roster, we have the talent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Liz, kind of how do you feel? I mean, and maybe I'll kind of ask a direct question. We can look back at the standings just to kind of see where Erie's at. They're sitting towards the bottom, but they've only played 3 games, right? So do we have a lot of information about them this year or not? And how do you kind of say, how do you evaluate a team going into a weekend where you're playing them twice with very little turnaround in between, right? Like they're not going to get to practice. So how do you handle that if you're Scott and the coaching staff, if you're these women?
I think that you use all of your subs again for probably both games in order to make sure that you're not overextending any of the players. And then I judge them based on vibes, and their goal differential is -2. So I feel great. I think maybe we have to bring an extra smoke on Friday. And honestly, like if we can smoke them one game and draw the other one, I'm fine with it. And I don't think I don't think you're going to get the same result for both games. I don't think that we're either going to well, I mean, we might win both, but like in a more conservative way. I think that we could do that. But I don't know if the players that we have know how to hold in reserve. And so it could go either way.
Yeah. I think I almost agree with what you're saying, but I also think, as we've talked about some of this tonight, right? Like I'm thinking some of these players are going to be really hungry to make a difference in a game. Mm-hmm. And so if it's a tight game, I mean, Kaz chiming in, giving us great insight. Scott's used every sub in every single match so far, right? Like if he does that in both of these matches, that means there's probably going to be players we haven't seen yet who are going to come out looking to do something and make an impact. And that can be kind of fun to watch as well. And so kind of to your earlier point, right? Like that adds to the chaos to talk about in the long term, right? Like, so I think like that's what I hope to see, somebody that we haven't seen at all, like in a Riveters uniform yet, right? Like coming in, getting minutes for the first time and scoring a great goal or drawing a foul in a spot that opens it up for them.
Yeah, and I think depending on how that plays out is what you'll see. So if we see Scott give us new players for both games and use all of his subs to, keep things in the mix, I think you end up with like maybe 2 games at, 2-0. I'm going to call clean sheets because I love clean sheets. So maybe you see us win both games 2-0. But if we see Friday night, we come in and we're going to play our main starters. We're going to have a very similar lineup. And then we're going to do on Sunday, we will see more new names. And maybe it's just earlier subs or whatever it is. Then I think that's where you could get like a wild game, 3 or 4-0, and then maybe you tie it up, 0-0 or 1-1. I think that it'll just depend on how it's played out to see what the score lines will be.
Yeah. Do you think that this is the type of opportunity is not the right word, but like because you kind of just said that, like is this where we kind of see a 0-0 draw in this league, or do you not see? Josh, you don't think so?
No, I just don't see them not scoring goals, and I kind of hope we see a little bit of more rotation. This is going to be weird, but at home, because I feel like the atmosphere is so impactful at this level. Like having, the screaming fans, the Erie players are going to come into that and be like, this is not like what we are used to playing.
Their keeper having to stand in front of us.
Yeah. Like all that, I think, give us the chance to impact the game. And then, if we're not doing as good as we need to be doing, then bring in the starters. But let that happen, get the win there. And then on the away game, that's when you have a stronger starting lineup. Kind of different than I think I originally was thinking. I was like, I want to see the blowout at home and then the rough and tumble game away. But if I'm thinking more tactically, I think you do the opposite there.
Mm-hmm. So, Liz, one last question for you.
Sure.
Riveters Friday, Hounds Saturday, Riveters Sunday. How many of those games will you be at in person?
2.
Not maybe.
3? Well, here's the problem. I think that Friday it may rain all day, but it's supposed to be a light drizzle and 90 degrees. So like it's my favorite type of game. But there's also the start of the World Cup, which happens right after the Rivers game, and you can watch it on the field. Delightful. And then I show back up for the Hounds. I'm going to be so tired. So tired.
It's possible we're watching 3 games at the Fort. Just one of them is on the big screen instead of actually live.
Okay. And there we are. The
Fort.
Fort.
You going to, Steve?
I don't think I can go Friday night. I had some tentative plans a while ago, so I think they're still on. But I don't know. Sometimes this like friends with kids, that throws things in the air all the time. So
children need so much attention.
Yep.
Almost as much as me. Take note, guys.
So, okay. Well, let's transition a little bit. Let's talk about another clean sheet. Because it was a clean sheet.
Sure.
Right.
USL Prinks Tire Cup.
Vroom, vroom.
Hounds were down in Charleston. A strong lineup overall. A lot of players were accustomed to seeing. The 2 major changes were Mike Sheridan in goal and Trevor Amon up top. But we had Kelp, Souza, McCoy, Barnes on the back line with a rotating midfield that included Griffin playing deep for the most part, Elliot Goldthorpe, Robbie Mertz, Sam Bassett, and Charles All kind of filling in those other spots. But it ended 0-0. This is 2 away goals down or 2 away games down in the Carolinas, where we've gone to penalty shootouts in this tournament, and 2 where we haven't won. So
guys, we're bad at PKs.
Okay, that's a later conversation.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Because I have some things I want to talk about on that. Josh, give me a takeaway from this game.
It's just I was really worried right from the get-go with Charleston looking pretty strong. And then I felt like the game kind of settled in and it didn't look bad. It just did not feel great.
Do you think that the Charleston fans felt pretty much the same way, though, for most of the game?
I mean, yeah, I could see that. And it's not that I thought we were a worse team. It just felt like there wasn't much, like all the chances we had were kind of just meh. Mm-hmm. Although Goldthorpe had some great shots. They just weren't, on target.
Well, he had one on target.
Well, he did. He had one.
And it was a good shot. It just, he didn't have, it looked like the angle to get it past the keeper.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just shaking my head most of this game where I was upset. So.
Yeah. I mean, Charleston almost got one about 10 minutes in and the post came to our aid.
Cool.
And then Sheridan made a really nice save from a tight angle where it might have hit the roof of the net. Those were, though, really their only 2 really good opportunities. We had one where Amon got a header, and it was a clean header right in front of the goal and put it nowhere near the goal. And then we had that Goldthorpe one, right? So I think there were 2 or 3 moments for each team that could have changed this game offensively, and the game did not get changed offensively. So just kind of, I hear what you're saying. Just kind of frustrating. Like, I never felt like we were going to score, but I also felt like they weren't going to score. And so maybe somebody does off of nothing. I don't know, Liz, what were you seeing and how did you feel throughout this game?
I mean, overall, I thought it was kind of boring. There felt like there was a lot of traffic inside of the box constantly, so nobody could play their routes. Nobody seemed to be exactly where they were supposed to be or where anyone expected them to be. So the ball just kind of floundered around for both teams. And then, for I think a number of our shots, like we just didn't do it with emphasis. We took lazy shots. Not that the placement or the foot on the ball was lazy, but we just didn't put the oomph behind it that you needed to get it past a good team. And so we didn't. We never showed up in a way that made it feel like we were going to finish this game with a win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which I think for me was one of the frustrating parts, because there were a lot of moments throughout this game where I had thoughts about, oh, wow, we are playing so much better in these tight spaces in the midfield, controlling the ball, not making errant passes, making turns and finding the outlet in a way that I don't think I'm used to seeing from Riverhounds teams. And so kind of to see that, but then to see us get the ball further up the field and not score or have something that looked like we were going to score was pretty frustrating. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like what I wrote down, right? Like our offensive woes, because it was just woeful for me. So I guess part of the question for that, Justin had mentioned in our Slack, like is this a issue of Rob getting outcoached or Rob coaching not for the win in a game where it's not a regular season game, it's a tournament game with a odd setup in this group stage, right? And so should he have done something different in terms of tactics, player selection, or whatnot?
I mean, there were definitely things I was very confused about, like keeping Kelpin after he got his yellow when he made all the subs pretty much. I was like, why is he still on the field? Like, I felt like that was a weird choice to keep him on. He did sub out Bassett, who was also on a yellow, but he kept Kelp on. I didn't like that.
Well, Josh, let me ask you, who did he have on the bench to put in, right? Like that's part of the challenge in this. And because I had asked the question, do we know if something's wrong with Olalo Samano because he wasn't in the 18? We didn't have another defender in the 18. Yes, you could put like a Max Vieira there. You could think about like a Junior Etu option, but neither of those players are true defensive players in a back four.
Nor were they available.
Yeah, let's say
they didn't travel. So
no, Vieira came on.
Yeah, I'm saying Etu wasn't there.
Yeah, right. But so it's like, but Etu I think is healthy, right? And so it's kind of that player selection and whatnot, and it makes me wonder. Like you see this offensive group of players, but then we didn't play for an offensive attack, right? Like in our tactics, and so a lot of confusion for me about kind of what was going on. Or is it just that those players just needed rest and they weren't willing to bring them no matter what? I don't know. Thoughts?
Don't ask me, please. Don't
yeah, I thought I heard that Etu was sporting a little bit of an injury from, like, he got pretty banged up in the last game.
That's the first thing he said to me when he came off the field. He's like, "Look at my legs." He has like cleat marks all over his thigh. He got kicked a lot.
So I'm guessing he needed a week to recover. But I mean, it's not just the substitutions though. I also really did not get the PK takers. We're kind of jumping to it. Sorry, but I just did not understand that lineup for who was taking the PKs. I was like, why is Flowers one of the first five? Like, that was not someone I thought would be in the first five at all.
Sure. So I mean, before we kind of break down all of that, because I've got a lot of thoughts on that, it also just felt like this game was one of those where the field did us no favors, the officiating did us no favors. And we had a pretty lively discussion in the Slack last night, and I committed to I will go back and watch, and I have completely changed my opinion on that red card, because my initial take was, I mean, you can't be putting yourself in a position where the ref has to make that call. But now I go back and watch it, and I'm like, he didn't even touch him, right? Yes, he was in a poor position for running up behind a guy, but he didn't touch him, and there was defensive cover. And so I don't know. Is there any reason for that to be a yellow card?
I guess for me though, I didn't leave that game feeling like, oh, it was really one-sided with the ref. Like, it maybe that call, yes, wasn't great, but I don't know. Why do we have a player out there who was on a yellow when we made a bunch of substitutions right before the play? Like,
and how do you keep blaming the field? It's not a new field to us. Yeah, it's crap. It's always been crap, though. It's in a place where it's windy, there are a bunch of bugs, it's hot as blazes, there's sand, and it's slippy. Put on your deeper cleats, dig in, and finally show up to that game. Like, do we just use it as an excuse every time? Sure.
I don't know. Maybe we do.
I don't buy that it was really like, it was within our power. And I do feel like it's funny you said that, like, we didn't have much rotation, because it felt like even with the subs and who we brought, we did have a lot of rotation. That was not our regular squad that we would bring to a USL game.
Sure.
Maybe it is because of injuries or, whatnot, but it definitely felt like it was not a powerful group that came into this game. So I don't know. It felt like a nothing game, which fine. I'm not particularly worried about the USL, Prinks Cup, whatever. I'm not like looking for that. It would be nice to get a little bit, the Vroom Vroom Cup. But at the same time, it's like you have a week off. Like, there's no reason not to bring your A game to this game. Like we talked about, I think last episode, which is, it's not like this game was a Wednesday game or anything like that. Like you want your players to be sharp. So bring them out, have them play this game. Unless all the guys were like, hey, this is our chance to have a vacation or something like that. Like, I don't know why you don't go into this full power.
Right. So, I mean, Josh, you kind of brought it up, the substitutes, and kind of the decision-making on that, right? So, Vieira came in for Bassett. Jackson Walty came in for Danny Griffin. Chico came in for Trevor Aman. Aldi Flowers Gamboa came in for Charles All. And then Jorge Garcia came in for Goldthorpe, right? And so as I look at that, I see some that make a lot of sense and some that are big questions for me, right? Like Chico for Aman, right? Like easy sub to make.
But it takes away your options when you don't have a goal yet. So why is that an easy option? Like,
but you're putting on.
It's a 1-for-1.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
It's a 1-for-1. You're putting on a better player.
But it doesn't increase your chances.
No,
and your chances have already been few and far between.
No,
dislike.
Vieira for Bassett. I don't think that's like the sub I would want to see made, but I get the pulling Bassett, like you said, Josh, right? And then, okay, like if you feel like you have to take Elliot Goldthorpe off, I guess Garcia is a fine player to bring on because he brings a lot of energy and he's going to run. And we know he can score a goal out of nowhere sometimes. But then we've got the Flowers Gamboa for Charles All substitution, which is like, I mean, in
combination with the Goldthorpe substitution, I don't think you can do both of those. Like that really hamstrung the team, and it took away some power in the back. Do you know what I mean? So that you could feel like you could continue to play in the midfield, what you were saying, where you could continue to be tactical and then possibly stretch them out. Like Garcia is not going to stretch anyone out the way that Goldthorpe is.
Right.
It's also the 83rd minute. Like, why bother? Like, at that point, like, you keep Charles All on, keep Goldthorpe on, and sub out someone else, or like, I don't know, like, instead of making this a 1-for-1 and then whatever, it almost felt like these subs were in the idea that like, oh, we're going to go into overtime when there is no, extra time or whatever. It's going straight to PKs. like you're telling me that Goldthorpe would have been a better option at PKs than Flowers Gamboa? He would have been.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like. This is the first time I think I've really watched a Hounds game since the end of last year and just really questioned, okay, what is this decision making? Because of these subs, right?
I hate to say it, but
that.
it almost felt like this decision making was more of we don't care about this game. Let some guys get some minutes. Flowers Gamboa has been playing for the 2 team for a while. Let him get some first team minutes on there. Just throw him in. Like, it didn't feel like we cared. And
he came in Charlotte too, right? Like, but those are his minutes so far.
Yeah.
This cup.
So I don't know. Like I did not feel like we were playing, and this goes into the PKs. Like I did not feel like we were taking this seriously at all when it came to the PKs either.
I mean, the first one, Robbie steps up, which was great to see because he was the one that missed the last one in Charlotte, and he was not going to miss this one, and he made sure of that. And then Jackson Walty steps up, who we're not expecting to see kind of in this situation. And it wasn't the best, but it was hard. It was low, and he caught the keeper going the other way.
No Chico. Why?
Why not the goal scorer?
That felt like a weird choice. Like when I saw Flowers kind of go up to the spot, I was like, wait, is Chico not taking? Like that seemed he should have been the second one to take it. Like I feel like Robbie and him, those ones make sense to me. Walty, he's a more seasoned player, I guess you could say that. Like I kind of get that a little bit, but in Garcia, like I don't know. Like I made the joke and I feel bad as soon as he got up. I was like, can he take this kick from outside the box? Because that's where he scores his goals. Like I don't know if he can score a goal from that close.
Well, and this is kind of that's the conversation though with the questions we have about the subs, because the only other experienced player on the field that I'm assuming Chico was taking the 5th one, right? Like
I guess, yeah.
But the only other player that's played at this level before was Perrin Barnes.
Question. Once you decide the order, is that the order you have to? Then when we got one blocked, we should have changed the order.
Yeah, it should have been like, okay, Chico, you have to go
Silly
up.
goose behavior.
I don't know. It just, the whole last half of this game felt very questionable to me. And I don't think, Vincent is a dumb coach. Like, I don't think this was like, goofy time. I know he knows what he's doing. So I just have to assume they just didn't care. Like they were looking for something else out of this game than a win.
I mean, I have a hard time with that though. I have a hard time saying I just don't think they don't care because of what it is mentally, what it means for you physically, like being involved in this. Maybe they were trying something new. Maybe there were tactics and they didn't work out. And that also sucks. But I have a really hard time with they just didn't care at all. So I hope it's not that. Although I would say if you're going to try new tactics in a game, maybe have them locked down a little more at practice. I mean, unless there's this wide gulf, maybe practice meaner. I don't know what the answer is, guys, but it can't be what happened on Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know what else to say about this game.
Yes, I'm ready to forget about this game. I don't know.
The game was frustrating to watch. Talking about the game is frustrating, right?
Sheridan coming out after Flowers missed his PK and just being there for him as a person and as a young developing player, that was priceless to me. That was it's something he didn't have to do in that moment, and he could have waited later to do it. And he ran to him to try and talk him through what was obviously going to be a terrible moment in his career. And I think that is something that I appreciate.
Yeah, that's a great shout out. Yeah. All right. We've got to pick a top 3.
Yep.
Josh, start us off.
Ew. Ew.
Yeah. I mean, Robbie.
I thought Robbie was our best player on the field all night.
Yeah, I feel like that's an easy he's a good default there because he was probably the best player. I don't think there was much good in this game overall, but he did good.
Liz, give me somebody.
No. You know what? I reject this. I wasn't paying attention in order to pick a top 3 because I didn't know I was going to be on this show. So unless you want to give it on vibes, and then I'm going with Sheridan because he has
Good.
vibes
Go with
for
it.
me.
If Sheridan's on this list, I do think he's on the low side of it, but I don't think it's a bad shout to put him on this list because he did have a good save. Obviously, he did not do great during the PKs. I did think that was pretty weak from him during the PKs, but that was like the only time I was like, man, Sheridan's not having a good game.
Charleston picked the same side every
I will say, yeah, they went bottom left every single time. I was like, just try diving that way once.
Sure.
Did he dive that way?
But I don't know. I
just missed it.
I don't feel like he was poor. He just went the wrong way.
Yeah, and that right? We talked to Dick about.
It's not PKs. Like he was hesitant.
Yeah,
he was moving and he was making a decision and going with it, and that's what you've got to do when you're the keeper, right? Like he only got scored on 4th, so maybe he would have saved the 5th. And if you got a 20% save rate in a shootout as a keeper, that's pretty stinking good usually.
Yeah, I would say usually, like we talked to Dick a little bit about this last year, I think if I remember right, or he talked about it with someone. Whereas like he's usually like you should expect the keeper to be good for 1 out of the 5, and that's about it. And he didn't get 1 out of the 5 because he didn't even get a chance to, go against 5. So that's fair. I did think the one that went also to the bottom left was a pretty weak shot. It was like more middle, but I think he did dive the wrong way on that one.
Yeah.
There's one that he could have saved. I think he needs to figure out hand placement because they're closer together and his hands are bigger. There's too much gap. That's my advice for this. Sheridan, put your hands to make your whole body bigger.
Sure.
You're welcome.
And this is a good learning experience too, right? Like, I don't know. Because he was at Philly too for a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times he's been in this situation.
All right, Steve.
Yeah, who's your
round it out?
Who's your 3rd? Are you gonna pick who I was gonna pick? We'll see.
Don't give him an out. He's got to do this himself.
Liz, stop it. Be kind.
No copying other people's homework.
Be kind to me. This, for me, was probably my favorite performance from Victor Souza.
All right. That wasn't who I was going to pick, but it's actually a good shout.
Who'd you have?
I'm always going to probably pick Goldthorpe because he's actually trying things. Like he seems like he's playing with a lot of passion and he's willing to actually go for it, which I feel like I just love seeing. And I'm always like rooting for him to actually make that next step because he's so close.
Yeah. And that's kind of, for me, that's kind of what I feel about Victor in this, right? Like, I think early in the season, a lot of questions, and then he figured out how to do the basics at this level well. Last night, I felt like he was doing the basics well, but he was also attacking some of like defending and not like attacking the ball and going after things that we haven't seen him do as much, and making some bigger plays, shutting some things down earlier because he was being more decisive and aggressive, which I really like to see. And kind of adds to the, if you had asked me, like, okay, when Beto and Factor get healthy, who's making way? And I still think it's like, oh man, Sousa's not safe in that. This makes him a little more safe for me. So I don't know.
That's fair.
Liz, give me an order.
You guys already picked the order. It was Mert, Sousa, Sheridan.
Okay. Are we saying Sheridan's last?
He's there on vibes, guys. I think that's fair that he only gets a point. It's like he gets a point and a heart, but it's still just 1 point.
That's
okay.
I think it's very fair.
Well, okay. yeah. I'm gonna have to add a heart to our score sheet later. So,
if he
all
wins,
right.
I expect that to be on his player card.
Oh yeah. You heard it here first, Mike.
Right.
I like
Mike's
when we
rolling his eyes. He's like, I don't need any more homework.
yeah, when we give Mike homework, it's glorious. All right. So we already talked about that the Hounds are at home on Saturday. It is a 7:00 game. It's against Indy, who's currently sitting in second. But they've played, well, you know what? I've got it here. Nope. That's not the one I have. Never mind.
Don't have it here.
I don't have both. I just had the cup standings because they changed because Louisville got a draw and jumped ahead of us
Gotcha.
last week. So we're in fifth. Louisville is in fourth. But we're only 2 points behind Indy going into this game. And they have played Louisville and Detroit, who are in between us and them, have played more games than both of us, right? So this is a true kind of battle for which team will be in the higher spot at the end of the game, with games in hand over the teams around them. So it's, Liz, you talked about kind of Friday's forecast. Saturday is supposed to be really clear, but it is supposed to be hot. And it is supposed to be humid as the afternoon turns into evening. I don't know, right? What do you think? give me your thoughts on what this game is going to look like, Liz.
I think there are going to be a lot of dick jokes, obviously, and they'll be on the other end of the spectrum as they were last year. I think that we've gotten really lucky with the weather and the lack of humidity, but with Pittsburgh, it's the summer. This is kind of to be expected. I'm not sure what Indy's weather has been, but maybe Eric forgot how to play in the humidity, and that would be great for us.
What if Dick doesn't start? That'd be great.
Josh, would that be great because you don't want to see him make saves, or would that be great because just like, oh, then you can love him all night long?
Honestly, it's more that.
Like,
yeah, it's more that second part. I really don't want to cheer against Eric Dick.
I'm used to cheering against former players, though. Like, I hate them for 90 minutes. It's fine. But assuming he is in net, if Deke scores on him,
oh, that'd be glorious.
See, that's kind of nice.
Yeah,
kind of great.
Sure, but like I came across
Don't be a naysayer. We root for the Hounds. Steve.
No. I came across a screenshot of like what's like your favorite sports memory, and I'm like, it's not the championship win; it's the win at home because we were there. It was in front of the fans the week before, and it's Eric Dick turning around one more time, right?
Yep.
like that's the moment that was the best of the best in that playoff run. And so it is hard to want to be like, so I won't cheer against him. I hope he gets scored on. Not cheering against him, but I hope he gets scored on.
Terrible.
I can't do it. I'm sorry.
You
I can't cheer against him. I can cheer for us to score on
for
him.
90 minutes. You absolutely can. This is your job as a diehard fan and a homer to be like, you're dead to me for 90 minutes. It's your literal job.
Steve's gonna have a press pass on. He's gonna be all prim and proper. He's not gonna be in the stands with us.
I'll stuck that in the shirt if I really feel like it. If he makes a save that really ticks me off, nobody will see the press pass. I might also have some of my students, so I don't know if I'll be doing press stuff.
Okay,
a few of the guys.
Are you bringing them over to our section?
Oh yeah.
Or have you prepared them?
It's like, oh, they'll be fine.
Yeah,
like,
they're college kids.
It's like they just finished a master's program after college. They know what they're getting themselves into. They're looking forward to it. So, yeah.
Another thing to note about this game, I think Indy has not won away yet this season. So we have that going for us.
That was not something that stood out to me as I was looking. I appreciate that insight.
I think I saw that.
What I did notice is they've only had one shutout in the league, and it was their last game, it was a 1-0 win against Rhode Island. And so they line up goals. I think that kind of favors us in this. Liz, what do you think is going to happen? Final score in this game?
Great question. I don't know. I think it's going to be a really long night, quite frankly.
Liz, at the score prediction part, stop giving me chaos.
There are going to be so many feelings. We're all going to be so tired. All right. Let's go 2-1 Hounds.
Josh.
That's the score prediction.
Yeah, actually, I think that is a pretty good bet. 2-1 Hounds. I do think, I don't know, like the fact that they have not. Yeah, I think this makes sense. I was just trying to like work through like, do I actually expect us to win this game? And I do.
Okay. I think our defense is clicking on all cylinders, and I think it's a 2-0 win for the Hounds.
There we go.
Oh.
So I'm often wrong, so feel free to let me know when I am later.
About this, I'm always wrong.
I really thought you were taking that a different way. I was like, about this, I will let you know.
That's
Score
it.
predictions? Friends, always wrong.
You were wrong in the best kind of way about the Riveters game.
Yes.
So,
Speaking of which, goals wise, keep in mind it's Pride Raiser right now for the Steel Army.
11 goals.
Oh, so far we're at 11 goals, and not that far into this month.
So yeah, I mean,
we go through July 4th because
you
America.
and Kaz talked about this quite a bit on Friday night.
Yeah.
Liz, at this point, now that another 4 goals have been tacked on, how are you feeling about your donation? Were you conservative enough, or are you getting nervous yet?
No, I'm not nervous at all. I took this into account. I know who the Riveters are. Will the Hounds let me down during Pride Raiser? Nearly every year. Have the Riveters ever? No, they have not. And so I knew what I was doing, and I'm pretty proud of my pledge.
Josh, I know you were looking at the cat, but it really looked like you were really suspectedly looking at Liz for that comment.
Yeah, I thought for sure a cat was about ready to jump on my shoulder. I was like preparing myself. I was just racing. So
I could tell it was the cat, and half of that comment is just so the listeners know that you are not side-eyeing your wife.
Here he is, the monster himself.
Narvi.
So
Narvi.
All right. Well, yeah, we've got a busy weekend of soccer. Any other last thoughts before we call it?
I got nothing.
Cool.
Yay, soccer.
Josh, always good to talk to you. Liz, thanks for joining again. Those of you that are listening, watching, Kaz, your comments, appreciated. Yeah, you know where we are. You know where to find us, mongols3@gmail.com if you want to chime in. Leave some comments on YouTube. Mike tells you some other things that I never remember, so go listen to an episode where the person that should be leading this isn't on vacation, and I don't have to fill in, and it makes everybody's lives better.
And don't forget your Pride Raiser pledge.
Yes.
But we will be back, and I don't know what the schedule is. I don't know if Liz knows what the schedule is for her and Kaz, but I'm sure you will hear from them too in the near future. So, yeah, we'll catch you all really, really soon.
Later.
Bye, guys.